glowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air.
Hey, it's Beth here, episode 666. I'll get into that in a second. First, I want to say that I had this babysitting job tonight, and it was at a place that was an hour and 10 minutes away, a resort. She said she's not coming in until tomorrow, and I think I've got this 24-hour cancellation. I think I'm going to get paid. I think I'm not going, and I think it's a snow day. Yes, I love snow days. I haven't had a snow day in years. Amazing. I had one other one at the Four Seasons. The people didn't want me. Got the money in cash, and then I went to the hospital to cuddle babies. Best day ever. So it's a good day. So anyway, the number 666, before I get into the movie, I had to find out what, I just had this feeling that it was a very bad number. Okay, so it is. It's the number of the beast from the book of Revelation. It symbolizes evil, the Antichrist, and opposition to God. Okay, so then it goes on, and it's actually more. The number 666 is often interpreted through biblical numerology as a coded, in parentheses, they're scared, aren't they? Reference to Nero Caesar, an imperfect human who built a corrupt system. I was like, what? Which Caesar is this anyway? It was the Caesar who fiddled while Rome was burning, but that's not all he did. I'm like, there's got to be more to it. Okay, because, people don't care. I mean, this has been going on for a long time, and this guy still gets to have that banner of being the worst guy ever. So, I found out facts about Nero Caesar, whatever his name is. First, he had a very difficult childhood. Boo-hoo-hoo. Nero's mom was the original stage mom, and she poisoned Emperor Claudius so that her son could have the throne. He disguised himself as a teenager to party with townfolk, and when he didn't like when they said no, he had them murdered. Nice guy. He had his mom assassinated. I don't know what she ever did wrong. I mean, probably a lot, but mostly she was working for him. And then he married his wife. Okay, so he married this woman, his second wife, and he gave the head of his first wife to the bride, which I think really takes care of that jealousy that you have when you're a second wife. So that one's kind of interesting. He participated in the Olympics one year, and he suspiciously won everything. I think that's kind of funny. This is the worst part. So after he got rid of his new bride, he married another bride, and it was a poor boy slave. His name was Sporus, which is the worst name ever. Spore. It just makes me think of all kinds of vermin. That's a bad name for a slave boy. And anyway, Nero married him. I think this was after he killed his mom. And he was in battle and it didn't go well. And he was feeling upset. So he marries this little guy named Sporus and castrates him immediately, which left a little mark on Sporus. He wasn't happy about it. It wasn't part of the contract. He didn't sign up for that at all. So right after that, Nero gets more and more depressed. And the world turns on him because he's ruined everything. I mean, Rome's burned. He's just a mess and corrupt. Built a whole bunch of stuff for himself. Won everything in the Olympics. People don't like him anymore. And so he realizes they're going to kill him. So this time, instead of getting dressed up like a townfolk, he gets dressed up in some of Sporus' clothes, in slave clothes, and to hide from all the people that want to kill him, because I guess he knew what happened to, Brutus's nephew and grandson and great-grandson were part of this scheme to kill Nero. Okay, so he runs away, and they're encircling him, the bad guys now. So Nero says to Sporus, would you dig my grave? And Sporus says, oh, yes, I will. Oh, yes. Starts digging like a madman. Nero says, I'm going to stab myself in the neck like artists, and I'm going to die with fidelity, whatever that means. I guess artists, I don't know. He's not talking about BS artists. I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway. And Spore says, great. And he's got his friends right there with him, helping him to dig this grave because it's got to be big because he's like the king, right? So he stabs himself in the neck and he can't quite do it. And I do not fault him for that. Sporus comes up and says, let me help you. And that is how Nero lost his life. Okay, 666. Now we know. Okay, on to the movie. Okay, this Aziz guy, Ansari, two scandals were on him, okay? One during the Me Too movement. He went on a date with a woman, and he thought it was a fantastic date. He had a wonderful time, and he was very surprised afterwards that she felt pressured into having sex. He got away with that, but a lot of girls kind of held it against him, okay? So, another interesting thing is Keanu Reeves broke his kneecap while making this movie. It was a vertical break in his patella, which is not funny. It's very painful. And he did it by tripping on the carpet runner while walking to his dressing room. He said, that's an ironic injury for John Wick. Now, that's the funniest thing that happened in this movie. That's a good line. Okay, so what happened next was there was another scandal. Maybe there's three. Okay, so Aziz is starting his brilliant career as the writer, director, star, and producer. All done by mirrors, by whatever. Everything's out of your way. That's how he's going into show business, to be the master of all, just like in his old TV show. Okay, this time he's going to be the master. So he starts this movie, and it kind of becomes a problem because it's got a great title. It's called Being Mortal. This was his first film debut, and everything's ready, and they get going, and the whole thing has to be shuttered. In other words, closed down, because Being Mortal, Bill Murray took the title very seriously and had inappropriate behavior with a female assistant on the set. Okay, so shuttered, gone, everything's over. That movie is in the can. Not the good can, the crapper can. Okay, it's gone. So, he's got Aziz, and Aziz has Rogen and Palmer on this movie already. The first one being Mortal with Bill Murray, who takes his job very seriously. Okay, so he keeps them because he has another movie in his back pocket, and he pivots them to Good Fortune. And he gets Keanu because Keanu likes the premise of the movie, which is money doesn't buy everything. Okay. Now, the big scandal, like drop all these other scandals, is that during the filming of this, and he didn't pay for this movie, he got all the money from a production company. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, while doing this, he accepted money from the Saudi Arabian government to be in a Riyadh comedy festival. Okay? So, he got upset when everyone got upset about it, because the Saudi Arabian government they're not most well known for their human rights, okay? So everybody was like, why are you doing this? And so he's like, well, I don't know, but I'll give some of the money to charity, because that's the kind of guy I am. So he tries very hard, to give the money to charity, but human rights, the supposed violations that Saudi Arabian government has done, keeps most charities from accepting money from money that came from Saudi Arabia. Now, I looked him up. He's got at least 25 mil. Why didn't he just pocket that money and then use his own money to give to the charities? Well, he just didn't think about that. It just didn't occur to him. So people are wondering about this whole situation and this movie that just pops up right at this moment when he's got the Shuttered movie and he wants to do another movie, and he's writing this thing on the fly because he wants to be known as a really, 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 really good guy. So what he does is the movie comes out, and it doesn't really, it's so funny because you've got Seth Rogen in the pool, and this lovely flotilla tray is coming towards him with guacamole, chips, and a margarita on it. And Seth Rogen is very happy with his life. And Keanu Reeves is this half angel because his wings are really short. He's like, they call him a bargain basement angel, and they only let him do his work in cars with people who are texting and driving, which I was in an accident on Monday. I was stopped dead in the road, 2 lanes merging into one, big, huge arrows pointing to one lane. I'm completely stopped, and this girl, UT student, 21, rams into the back of my car. She was texting. I don't think that's a bargain basement angel. I think they save a lot of lives. I wish a lot of people would get off their cell phones. So that line didn't ring true for me. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is God's work. Get more angels doing this. But no, his wings are short and he looks kind of stupid. So he takes it upon himself to teach Seth Rogen a valuable lesson about how money doesn't buy everything. Now, Aziz plays the guy who's lost, doesn't have any money, working jobs, nobody treats him well, and he trades places with Seth Rogen. But the funny thing about the movie is that Aziz is writing it and starring in it, and he's really happy being rich, and nothing's going wrong. He doesn't see all the people that are, making this possible for him, the little guys. He's at the top. He's having a ball, loves the clothes, loves everything, loves the parties, loves everything. We tack on this ridiculous ending at the end. And very smart millennials are saying that he couldn't write this movie because he really does love money and he really doesn't care where it comes from. And that someone else should have written it and someone else should have starred in it. And so there's a lot of backlash about how he just wanted to redeem himself by making a lot of money through a studio. I can't remember. I'll tell you. I mean, all the money came from the studio. He didn't put up any of his own money to do this. So he didn't, no pain. There was no pain. So there was no gain. So he thought that this movie was going to save him. And he also married a girl from Sweden. And I guess, that makes you look like a really good guy. So the thing is, it is backfiring because really smart millennials know exactly what's going on. And what's going on is that he just wants to look like the kind of guy who thinks money can't buy happiness, who wants to believe that working for the little guy. So there's this tacked on ending where Seth Rogen at the end, when he's got all his stuff back, and he's not inviting the angel or Aziz to live with him, although they all bonded a lot. A guy's back on the road doing God knows what with Keke Palmer, who has a terrible job. Okay, so they're thrown back out of the Garden of Eden. Seth is there all by himself in his big house. He doesn't even have a girlfriend that he has to buy dinner for. So selfish. And he says at this board meeting, hey, you know what? We got to treat the Uber drivers better. The guys who pick up food and deliver it to homes, they don't make enough money. And he doesn't say, next line, I'm going to give up my salary to make this happen. He just says that line and everyone claps and they go on and you just know it's not going to happen. And you just know Seth hasn't changed. And you just know Aziz is going to spend the rest of his life wishing he was back in that big, beautiful house overlooking LA. So there was no moral in this movie. It didn't pan out. It didn't hit me. It didn't hit anybody. I've seen so many reviews. Some people say Seth is funny 3 times. Well, he was, but they say it's not a belly laugh. But he can deliver a comedy line. But it's not a funny story. It's really not. It's just, in fact, the moral of the story is money is awesome. Living in a beautiful home overlooking LA, never worrying about anything, is awesome. Having people help you do everything you want to do is awesome. And that's what Seth has. The good life. He doesn't even have to go to work. He doesn't even have to go to these meetings. He had to get up, get out of his beautiful home, go to this meeting. I guess that was the moral to the story, that he tried. That he left his home and he went to a board meeting and he stood in front of people who were clapping. And wasn't he wonderful? Give me a break. It was so tacked on. You really need to watch it on Netflix. Don't give it a dime. It got very boring in the middle. I don't even know what was supposed to be going on. I felt very sorry for Keanu Reeves because he was not only playing a role where there's no dimension, he's got a broken knee. So, what is the moral to this story? The moral to this story is you can't put a Band-Aid on it, Aziz. You just can't. Okay? It really looks like a Band-Aid. And nobody's buying it. And I feel sorry for you. I think really you should give half of your money to charity if you want to make it up to people. And then you'll have $12 million. And you got a new movie coming out. There'll be more money. That thing where you said, oh, charities don't accept money from the place I got the money. It's exactly what was happening in the movie. You know? And then you live with it really well, just like Seth did. What? It's like the worst movie ever. It is not a feel-good movie. It's a feel-bad movie. So, wow. These people in their ivory towers just don't see anything. So, that's what I've got. And I'll be back. But it's a snow day for me. A snow day. And I'm very happy. And I'm just going to eat all day. All the popcorn and potato chips. And I'm just going to be bad. Because I want to. So, that's my day. Snow day. Yay! And I'll be back. Thanks.
They fly so high, nearly reach the sky.